Please let me welcome Gavelian Yutika Dogger. Gavelian Yutika Dogger, vintage pages, Gavelian Yutika Dogger.
Thank you. So, scrolling through those dusty papers, I saw some creative writing. I picked the diary up and cut from all the dust before wiping it with my hand. My curiosity being too much for being hygienic. What was written on it? Slowly, I smiled as I read what was written on it and flipped to the next page. While you think about it, let me take you to the next page. It was a recollection of the day I was born, of how my sister was extremely happy, but soon realized she judged too quickly because apparently now I'm annoying. And then I skipped a few pages again. This time it was about my mother. My comments all around the pictures with deformed emojis made me scream with laughter. Apparently, my mother was staring at me like I'd grown a horn. Hey, imagine how I would look with a horn. That's not the point. I was cleaning. Oh, the horror. My mother's face depicted because I was cleaning. She had always been a practical woman, too practical, if I might. Smart and quick-witted, to be honest, brilliant. She always gets her work done. Her hobbies, they include scolding me and making sure I eat all the vegetables I absolutely despise. Unlike my father, oh boy, is he an awesome person. He is super supportive and very much into literature like me. Did you know I look like him? And ironically, I bond with him so much over our late night talks and discussions on probably the most philosophical questions. His advice is also somehow always right. Once he predicted that our house will be during the monsoon season, one rainy evening, raided by a bunch of evil mosquitoes. And, oh Lord, a horrific evening it was. But I made it through. Do you know how? Well, it was the most bizarre thing ever. How could I be angry at the mosquitoes when my sister had already bagged that one? Did I mention her amazing ability to use my slippers, even though hers would be right there in front of her? And to find things that happened hundreds of centuries ago before to blackmail me. I would be surprised if one day she comes to me and says it's my fault that Tom and Jerry isn't there in Netflix. I mean, well, to be honest, she's also super duper selfless and always there for me. I am lucky to have her as my sister. I skimmed through the next few pages with short pictures of all the appliances and hairbands I have broken. I still don't know why that's funny. After skipping a few pages, I came across a red section of pages. Well, stereo. It was the arrival of 2020. Sent shivers down my spine. A rather sad and unproductive year, if I must. Thank God my family and friends were there for me. The one good thing about that year, though, was that one of my friends, she had been a very close friend of mine since 11 years. She and I had drifted apart, but 2020 brought us closer once more. However, I paid the price by an extremely close friend of mine, shifting to another state. I was heartbroken, but I soldiered through it. What majorly got me through 2020 was writing poems. I wrote almost 100 of them, over 100 of them, to be honest. And I found many new friends. So 2020 had its ups and downs. And then came along you guys, the Gavel Club. Oh, how happy I was. My brother introduced you all to me. And soon enough, before I even knew it, I started loving these sessions of ours. Speaking has always been something I've loved and probably the thing I'm best at. That is why when I've gotten an opportunity where people have to hear my endless banter, I waste it. As I continued on, flipping through the next few pages, including a drowsy Christmas, but yes, a better New Year. My joy was more than you can imagine on the night of New Year's when 2021 finally came. I flipped to the next page to read what was written on it, but there was nothing. The only thing that was written on it was, as I quote unquote, 2021 to be continued, dot, 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 and a smiley face near it. I guess I'm on to finding out the second book of this series. which includes of the fascinations of 2021 and after. Turns out I have a good feeling about this year. So that's all about my life. By the way, have you yet figured out what's the book's name? Well, if you haven't, let me tell you. Its name is Memory, and it exists in my imagination. I closed the book with a happy sigh and all the dust cleared out from the air. I guess, what can I say except best of luck, Yutika? Thank you.